Hello viewers! Today I'm going to talk about estimating jar size for brewing rice wine. How do I decide which jar I should use? Should I use this 3-liter brewing container? Should I use a 10-liter brewing container? What should I use? So I hope you find this useful. If you like this video, please click that like button and subscribe. So that's today's topic. And the motivation for this topic is I recently brewed something in this jar that was too full and it expanded and overflowed and I had to discard the batch. So that was very sad and I don't want to repeat that. And so I wanted to come up with a quick estimation and share it with you. So the goal today is to get a quick estimate. Start with the number of kilograms of rice in the recipe, and in the end I want the size of jar I should use in liters. When you're brewing rice wine, you're always soaking the rice and cooking it, and that soaking usually adds about 50% of the weight of the rice. So if you start off with 1 kilogram of rice, you end up with 1.5 kilograms of soaked or cooked rice, and you also add water in a ratio of 1:1 with the raw rice. So that would be, so assuming a 1:1 water to rice ratio, that would add another liter of water. So 1.5 kilograms of cooked rice plus a liter of water, that's approximately 2.5 liters. So minimum size you need there, if you start off with 1 kilogram of rice, you need a 2.5 liter container. However, we need headroom. That was the important thing that I was missing. You're going to want at least 20% headroom, and I'm going to show you why right here. Take a look at this. What if I didn't have the headroom? What would happen? Well, it would just all spill out. The batch would be ruined. Terrible. So you need the headroom. So let's say we insist on at least 20% headroom. That means instead of 2.5 times, adding 20% to that, that would be 3 times. So start with the amount of rice in kilograms, multiply by 3, and that's the minimum size of jar you need in liters. So that's just a quick estimate. Of course, if your rice to water ratio is different, if you're adding other ingredients, you're going to have to make adjustments to this. But this is the quick estimate, 3 times. You also have to be careful. You don't want to use too large of a jar with a small amount of brewing material in it. You don't want too much headroom. That could be bad as well. So you want to be using most of your jar, and for that reason, let's say up to about here would be you'd have about 60% of the brewing material as headroom. That would be about the maximum you would want. 60% headroom would be 4 times the amount of rice in kilograms. So in order to figure out the maximum size of jar, that would just be simply 4 times instead of 3 times. Let's look at some examples. If I start off with 1 kilogram of rice, I should use the 3 or 4 liter jar. Okay, and I have a 3-liter jar, that works fine. If I have a recipe with 3 kilograms of rice, I should be using a jar between 9 and 12 liters. So I'll use my 10-liter jar for that. If I'm using 4 kilograms of rice, I should be using a jar between 12 and 16 liters. So I'll use my 15-liter jar. And if I have a recipe with 5 kilograms of rice, I should be using a fermentation jar between 15 and 20 liters. So I'll use my 15-liter jar for that case. Notice I don't have any recipe here for 2 kilograms of rice. If I was making a recipe that used 2 kilograms of rice, that would require a jar between 6 and 8 liters, and I do not have that size of jar. So I should not try to make a recipe with exactly 2 kilograms of rice. I need to scale down or scale up to use a smaller or larger jar. So I hope you can avoid the mistakes that I've made in the past. I hope you found this quick estimate useful. Just find a jar whose size in liters is between 3 and 4 times the amount of raw rice in kilograms in your recipe. And of course, if you're adding a different amount of water or adding other materials, you'll have to make some adjustments, but this is the basic estimate. So use it, be successful in your brewing. Thank you for watching.